Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Massive Darkness 2 unboxing. This is for the Zombicide Fantasy crossover box. It's this little extra kind of box. It's a Kickstarter exclusive, but it's an add-on that lets you bring your characters from the Zombicide, Black Plague, and Green Horde boxes and expansions into Massive Darkness 2. Now, it doesn't let every single thing come over. Like, if you did see, I did another video for the Massive Darkness 1 into Massive Darkness 2, it lets you bring everything. Kickstarter stuff, everything. This, they picked select things. It was mostly stuff from the main core sets. None of it was from Kickstarter exclusive stuff, just because they wanted to make sure people could actually find it. So it says Massive, or Zombicide Black Plague and or Zombicide Green Horde core box items are necessary to use this content, and some of it requires a few expansions. More or less, that's true only if you want the miniatures. If you don't care about having the miniatures out, you could pick this up and just add more mobs, roaming monsters, as well as different heroes, as long as you don't care if the miniatures don't match. It could give you more options. But it does. It's going to add some more. It's going to add a new boss with a new quest. Heroes, roaming monsters, and mobs. It's going to take those different zombies and let you bring them over. So they're going to come from... It's kind of neat because it kind of breaks down where they all come from. There's stuff from Black Plague, Zombicide Green Horde, Zombicide Friends and Foes, Zombicide Wolfsburg, a bunch of theirs, and then from Zombicide Rat King and Swamp Troll. So a couple different ones there. Then it's going to have a special quest for the Necrotic Dragon. Or Necromantic Dragon. It's going to use stuff from just Hellscape and stuff. Well, it's different stuff there. So it gives you a new boss. Then additionally what it does is it comes with a pack of cards that lets you take all your heroes from Massive Darkness 2 and bring them over to Black Plague or Green Horde. So it's actually kind of neat. And that does let you bring a bunch of your various roaming monsters over into that game as well. And it has some stats on each of those characters here. Which we'll come back to that when we get to there. Alright, so we're going to start by going through the heroes. Now, I don't have the miniatures for these. I don't own any of the Zombicide games currently. This might make me pick some of them up when I can find them. So I can't show off the miniatures with you, but we will take a look at all the different characters. So it's going to bring them into our various groups that match Massive Darkness 2. Alright, so here we're going to start with Glinda. She's our Berserker. She has 8 health and 1 mana. So if you want to know what these classes do, you'll have to go back and check out all the various Massive Darkness 2 videos, base sets, and the expansions that unlock them classes. We're just going to go through the cards. So you have Defense, take 1 wound, deal 2 wounds to the attacker. And then Shadow, deal 3 wounds. After combat, you may change your stance for free. Ooh, so those are both fun things for a Berserker to do. Then we have Rolf, who's like more of our definitely Conan type character. 6 health and 3 mana. Move, take 1 wound to gain 1 extra movement point. And Shadow. After combat, you may spend 2 rage to immediately perform 1 attack. If you don't, gain 2 additional rage. Okay, cool. So yeah, if you either gain some, or you can build up some extra rage. Extra attack actions are always great. So basically, he gets to hurt himself to move, and then if he has enough MP, if he's in the shadows, he can, if he's taking enough wounds, he can do an extra attack. We have Cabral. 7 health, 1 mana. Take 1 wound, move 1 hero or enemy in your zone up to 1 zone once per round. In Shadow. After combat, Roll 2 orange dice, deal 1 wound for each sword rolled, gain 1 rage for each mana rolled. Ooh, nice. Just to build up his stats. Then we have some paladins. We have Clovis, who has 5 health and 5 mana. He has dual wield, so as long as he has a weapon in each hand, he gets +2 sword when he attacks. And Shadow, reroll 1 for each consecrated zone in line of sight. Solvig, 5 health, 4 mana. Defense, spend 1 mana to gain 1 shield. You suffer no wounds from this attack. Deal 1 wound to the attacker. And then each enemy in the consecrated zone takes 1 frost and fire. That's awesome. Makes that more of a combat tool. Definitely a combat paladin. Then we have our rogue with Theo. 4 health, 4 mana. If you use the red token to move, gain 1 additional movement point. Shadow, draw and discard 1 rogue token. If it's red, gain 4 swords, otherwise gain 2. It's kind of neat. It's going to focus on which tokens you might want to go for then. We have Julian, 5 health and 3 blue mana. 3 mana. Spend 1 unused blue token. Interact with 1 token. Interact once with each token in your zone. Interact once with each token in your zone, +1 adjacent zone. It's cool, so you can spend his tokens to do extra interact actions. And then Shadow. After combat, steal the mob leader's weapon. Oh boy, that's cool. That's definitely roguey. Just to hide in the shadows and steal weapons. Makes them so they don't have much of attack. I think no matter what, they get to always roll at least 1 die, no matter what, even if they don't have an item. We have Caitlyn here. 4 health, 4 mana. Equipped 2-handed weapons count as 1-handed weapons. And then Shadow. Return any number of discarded rogue tokens to the bag. Ignore 1 defense for each token returned. Nice. So you can just drop a bunch back in and get an extra bunch of defense. We have our wizard. We have Baldric. 4 health and 5 mana. Equipped 2-handed magic weapons count as 1-handed. Awesome, because that's cool. You hold a 2-handed staff in 1 hand and a sword like he has in the picture. Spend any number of mana. Deal 1 wound to each mana spent this way. Battle wizard. Love it. We have Megan, our other wizard. 5 health and 5 mana. Spend 1 mana to rotate the ready marker counterclockwise. So that's sweet. She can actually go the other direction. And then Shadow, after combat, roll 3 yellow die. Deal 1 wound for each sword rolled. Gain 1 mana for each mana rolled. Definitely cool. She can stat herself. Alright, there's a lot of guys here, so we're going to go kind of quick. We got Shaman. We have Asim, 5 health and 2 mana. So for 1 fire and winged. Fire or winged? Fire and winged. Probably fire or. Reroll, or defense, you can spend earth or water to reroll. Shadow, increase elements by 2. Another Shaman here. We have Selly, 6 health and 2 mana. Take up to 3 wounds, increase 1 element for each wound taken this way. And then Shadow, ignore all black dice, increase 1 element for each die ignored. We have Silas, who's our ranger. 6 health and 2 mana. You may use the arrow deck when performing melee attacks. Oh, that's sweet. Shadow, draw and discard 1 arrow card. You may apply all 3 effects combined or none. I like it. I like it's also, you get the choice too. It's not you have to pick before you draw it. Ariane, 5 health and 2 mana. For drawing an arrow card, you may discard 1 mana to the top card and choose to keep it or discard it once per round. And then Shadow, +2 sword for each zone between you and the defender, including their zone. Nice, so she gets basically ranged attacks. She really likes to do her range. We have a druid here. Carl, 4 health, 3 mana. Transformation. Reduce any animal form track by 2 to increase each other track by 2. Ooh, specialization. And then Shadow, swap the amount of any 2 animal form tracks. That's actually really cool. So you just have to play around with a lot more where his stuff is going to be when he needs it. So basically you could be in like bear form with him, and then when you're in bear form the other tracks will go up. And then you could choose to reduce one of the other 2 to up bear twice. Or if like one hits max and bear hits, like eagle hits max, bear's at 0, you could flop them. So basically you could stay in one form longer because you can spend stuff. It's kind of cool. And then you have Burring, 6 health and 2 mana. Transformation, roll 2 yellow die. Deal wounds equal to 1 sword roll to 1 enemy in your zone. Increase any animal form track equal to the mana rolled. And then Shadow, plus 4 swords and you take a wound. And we have another druid. We have Doran, 4 health, 4 mana. Transformation, add 1 frost and 1 fire to an enemy in magic range. And then Shadow, you may use your current transformation effect up to 2 times. Nice. Alright, we have some bards here. We have Nelly, 5 health, 4 mana. You don't need an instrument to activate your skills. Sweet. A bard that doesn't need an instrument. And then she has plus 1 sword for each different note. After combat, you may move 1 zone, ignoring reaction damage. Arang, 5 health and 6 mana. If you spend G and E notes, at the end of your turn, perform 1 free trade action with all other heroes at your tile. Interesting. Shadow, plus 1 fire, then choose G, B, or E. For each active note of the chosen type, ignore 1 defense. It sets them on fire, and then it ignores their defense while they're burning. A Tinkerer, we have Samson. 5 health, 4 mana. You may pay 2 mana instead of discarding an item for any skill or effect. And then Shadow, kill 1 defending minion and place 1 small bomb in the enemy zone. That's neat. You just straight up kills a guy and basically turns him into a bomb. I love it. Johannes, 5 health, 3 mana. Attack, discard 1 item to gain 2 swords. Or Shadow. Draw and return 1 treasure token in the bag. Draw 1 treasure card from the corresponding deck. Interesting. So draw and return 1 treasure token from the bag. Draw 1 treasure card from the corresponding. Just to draw extra treasure. Alright, then there's some necromancers. This is like a dark elf. That's cool. Morgan. 6 health and 2 mana. Attack, take 1 wound to gain 1 soul or re-roll. And then Shadow, spend any number of soul for each spent, deal 1 sword damage and heal 1 self only. That's cool. I love that. We have Sylvia, which is like a voodoo priestess, 5 health and 4 mana. Dual wield, attack, reroll. If you reach the last threshold, you get plus 3 swords. And then Shadow, ignore all black dice, gain 1 soul for each ignored black die. I wish that either one of them had something to do with maybe with one of their skill abilities, other than just souls, but still cool. And then finally, we have our last 2, which are the monks. We have Anne, looks like a nun, 5 health and 4 attack. Spend 1 mana to gain 1 sword token. Great, you can use that later. And then Shadow. Choose a hero in magic range to gain 1 defense token for each active or discarded chakra, so she can hand out defense tokens while building up her own. And then finally we have Tucker. 4 health, 4 mana. At the start of your turn, you or another hero in magic range gain 1 defense token. So he gives them all easier. And then Shadow. Choose 1 hero in magic range to gain 1 reroll for each active or discarded chakra. Definitely fun. This, if nothing else, makes me, not only do I want to now, after going through all this, now that I want to definitely collect all these characters, it also, again, makes me, I said this in the Massive Darkness upgrade box, makes me want to go through and buy another set of all the different sets, so I can have 2 classes at the same time. Because that would definitely be fun to do. So you could play like 2 shamans or 2 druids or 2 necromancers. Especially if you're playing like a 6-player game, you could overlap some of the classes. Alright, so we're going to get our mob cards. There's 6 different colors, so 1 to 2, 3 to 4, level 5, and then 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and then level 10. So the first 3 can be used just if you have the base Hellscape game, Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape, and the other 3 are if you have the Heavenfall campaign set, so if you're playing up to level 10. So that way, yeah, if you bought this you own Zombicide and you have these and you pick up the first game and you get this to go with it, you can still use them in the base game without picking up the expansion. Alright, so we're going to look at this. So what it does is it takes the fatties and the walkers and combines them into one mob. So on the first side are your leaders, and then the second side are your minions. So when you summon these characters, you always summon one of the big guys. So you'll have summon one fatty, and you'll summon the minion, which is the walker, up to the number of heroes there are. So if you're playing a 4-player game, you'd summon 4 of them. And then this kind of figures out how to combine those different groups. So in all the Massive Darkness sets, it's always the groups are the same type. So it's always like if you're playing dwarves, there's Dwarf Guardians or both. Or if it's fire entities, it was fire entities or infernal imps or skeletons. They're always the same thing. So these, they kind of had to like mix some different characters together to make them work. So here we have the fatties and walkers. They have 3 health, they have 1 blue defense, and this is attack. 2 claws spawn 1 walker if possible, unless the defending hero takes 1 wound. Definitely very zombie-ish. And then as we go up the stack, you're just going to go up, and I'll show them off. You can pause it if you like, but I'm not going to read through all the middle ones. Once they hit the middle half, though, they start getting extra dice, according to for the green guy for the campaign. So when we hit level 10, now they have 10 health each. They have 3 blue and 3 green defense dice, and then they can still spawn 1 walker. Alright, our next group are the Abominations leaders, with the runners as minions. They have 4 health. This mob has +1 action per round, and then attack 2 claws against +2 swords. This kind of makes sense for them because the runners are supposed to be fast. Like the walkers are supposed to spawn a lot. The runners are supposed to be quick, so they get extra action every turn, so they can get near you or attack you more. So then just their health and everything goes up. But then now at this point, they also get 3 swords. And then at level 10, they have 12 health, 1 extra, but in their attack 2, they gain 4 swords. Alright, then we have some orcs. We have the orc fatty, and then the walkers. So they're going to have 3 health, 1 blue defense, and defense. Roll of 2 claws, gets from 1 extra defense dice. I give them up to 2. And then when they hit level 10, they have 11 health, 3 blue, 3 green defense, and they can roll up to 2 extra blue die. Then we have the Orc Abominations with the Orc Runners. So 3 health, 1 defense. They have 1 action per round. And then if they roll 2 claws, they get a slash, which is an unavoidable attack. And then we'll up all there, so it's going to gain some more defense, extra dice, and they have a lot of defense at the end. 9 health, 5 blue dice, 2 green dice, 1 extra action, and they can do 2 slashes. Alright, now we have a new Abomination, the Tainted Abomination and Walker. 3 health, 1 blue die, defense 2 gains 1 slash, unless the attacking hero discards 1 mana. that's going to stay the same. And that does go up to +2. So now they have 10 health, 4 blue die, and 3 green die for defense. They can do +2 slashes unless they pay 1 mana. Alright, then we're going to get some Deadeye Walkers. So they'll have 2 different versions of them. One with a sword and one with a crossbow. Will be the 2 different leaders there. Now, I don't know if it says the differences in there. So, the Fatties and Walkers were from Zombicide Black Plague. The Abomination and Runners were from Black Plague. The Fatty Orcs and Abominations were from Green Horde. The Tainted Abominations and Walkers were from Zombicide Friends and Foes. Alright, and then it goes down here, so the next couple here are from the Wolf Abominations, the Deadeyes, and the Spectral Walkers are all from Zombicide's Wolfbirds. It says, the Deadeyes here, it says, Deadeye Walker Leader, choose 1 sculpt, and 6 Deadeye Walker minions, choose from the other 2 sculpts. So there's multiple different versions, same thing with the Spectral Walkers. So they're just showing these pictures, but it sounds like there might be a 3rd sculpt you can use. Is basically have 1 different, all the rest the same. So however you kind of want to run them. So let's start with 3 health, 1 blue defense die. Deadeye Walker's weapon always counts as a ranged in addition to its type. Ranged attack +2 if Deadeye Walker did not move this round. So if you can see, he potentially gain extra attack. More defense dice, and then finally they're going to get 9 health, 3 blue defense, 3 green defense. And then their ranged attack 2 is now up to 3 swords if they did not move. The Spectral Walkers. So they're only going to just show the 1 on here, but you still use 2 different ones. I know why they didn't show 2. Because it kind of breaks the whole leader minion thing. But they have 2 health, 1 defense dice. So melee defense and range defense. If they roll a claw, they gain 1 extra shield. And then their stats will just go up. So then now they get 2 shields. Now they hit level 10. They have 9 health, 4 blue defense, and 3 green defense, plus potentially 2 shields for range or melee damage. And then we have the Wolf Abomination and the Wolves. 2 health, 1 blue mana, attack, 2 claws. After combat, perform another attack against the same target if possible. Oh boy. And then when they hit level 10, they have 12 health each, 5 blue dice, and 1 green dice for defense. And then they can potentially attack again. And our final mob is the Swarm of Rats, which comes from the Rat King and Swamp Trolls pack. It says Swarm of Rats leaders choose 1 sculpt, and the other one choose one of the Swarm of Rats means choose one of the other 2 sculpts. So 4 health, but they get no defense dice. But if they roll for 2 claws after combat, move this mob 1 zone away from the attacking hero if possible. So basically they're just going to be a lot healthier, but they don't have the extra defense. And then none of the other stats, but they get up to 14 health each. Which is a lot for a mob. Alright, so those are our different mob characters. Then we are going to look at the roaming monsters, which are the bigger guys. Alright, so this will be the Abomatroll. So it does not specify which sets each of these guys come from. Yeah, I was hoping maybe it said that in here too, but I'm going to. So you just kind of have to figure out which ones they came from. They're coming from one of those 4 sets, though, I believe. So the Abomatroll has 4 health per hero. On the side, it's going to show what treasures it gets. It gets 2 generic treasures and always 1 rare. Its health or defense dies 1 blue and 2 black. Its attack is 1 orange and 1 black. And it says if there are any heroes in line of sight, Abomatroll performs its activation as if it was a mob with +1 activation. Otherwise, it moves 1 zone towards the closest hero. So that means basically if it can see someone, it's going to get 3 actions, and during its actions, it's either going to move or attack. So if it can attack you, it will attack you. If it can move, it will move. Otherwise, if it can't see anybody, it's just going to move 1 zone closer to the next hero. And then next turn, hopefully it can see you. So if you roll a defense with a claw, it gets +2 shields. Then its stats are just going to go up. And then at the bottom you get still 2 shields, now it's up to 3 shields. And at level 10 we have 12 health per hero. Defense is 4, 3, and 2, because you got them green dice from the campaign mode, which are a little bit harder. And then the attack is going to be 3, 3, and 2, so it's going to red dice, which are even more powerful than the orange. And it gets 3 shields. Then we have the Abomination. 6 health per hero. 2 blue, 1 black defense, and magic range, 1 yellow, 1 black. If any heroes are in magic range, Abomination attacks each hero in magic range. Resolve each attack separately. Otherwise, Abomination moves 2 zones towards the closest hero. And on melee defense, he gets +1 shield. So he's going to try and hit you at a distance, everybody at a distance. And if he can't, he's going to get extra defense for hitting you up close. So now he's up to 2 shields here on the bottom. Ups into 3. So his level 10 version has 14 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2 for defense, and magic range is 2, 3, and 2, and melee defense is with his claw, he's +3 shield. Then we have the Minotaur. So we could fight this Minotaur with your regular Minotaur, it'd be kind of fun, from Massive Darkness 1. So 5 health per hero, defense die is 2 blue, 1 black. Melee range is 1 orange, 1 black. If there are any heroes in line of sight, a Minotaur moves to its zone to the closest hero and attacks him. So he does like a straight charge. Otherwise, he moves 2 zones towards the closest hero. Attack, 1 claw, gain 1 sword. And he goes up to 2 swords. These guys are all fairly basic for what they're going to do. Basically, if they can see you, they're going to attack you. If they can't, they're just going to try and move 2 zones towards you. So far, nobody's had any super crazy abilities. 12 health per hero. Defense is 4, 3, and 2. Melee attack is 3, 3, and 2. And his attack with 1 claw is +3 swords. Then we're going to get some agents. We have the Necromancer agent. So health has 4 health per hero. Defense is 1 blue, 1 black. Magic attack is 2 yellow, 1 black. If one hero is magic range, Necromancer agent attacks a hero. Otherwise, he moves 3 zones towards the closest hero and spawns a mob in its zone. This mob doesn't activate this round. So this works a lot like the agents from Massive Darkness 1. They're going to try and spawn enemies. So basically, if he can't attack you, he's going to spawn. So you're going to want to get near him. So his stats will upgrade. And then when we hit level 10, now he's 12 health per hero. Defense is 4, 3, and 1. Ranged attack, melee or magic range is 3, 2, and 3. His attack if hero is 1 claw. Defending hero gets -3 shields. Otherwise, his other abilities don't change. And our last one is we have the Orc Necromancer agent, which is going to be basically the same idea. 4 health per hero. Defense is 1 blue, 1 black. Magic range, 1 orange, 1 yellow, or 1 black. If at least one hero is in magic range, Orc, Necromancer attacks it. Otherwise, moves 3 zones towards the closest hero and spawns a mob in its zone. So I think that's the exact same thing. Yes. Yep, so none of that changes. His base stats do change, though, compared to the other Necromancer. So he gets 2 yellow, and he only does -1 shield, and for the Orc Necromancer gets 1 orange. And then in the shadows, he does -2, so he does a little bit more minus shield damage, but he has to be in the shadows for it. So they kind of work basically the same, but a little bit different. So he ends up with 12 health per hero, 4, 3, and 2. So he gains 1 more black dice than the regular Necromancer. And then his magic attack is 3, 2, and 3, which is the same. But in the shadows, if he gets a claw, he gets -3 shield. So just slightly different, not super different. Alright, so that was our roaming minions. Now, they could have obviously included a lot more monsters in all of this from all the different expansions, but they didn't want to make it too hard for everyone to pick up. So maybe it's something they could do like in a future upgrade. Would be release something like let you play as all the Kickstarter characters and stuff. That'd be kind of cool as well. So if you did pick up everything else, and then maybe even let you have another crossover pack, which lets you bring the rest of the monsters over. Because there was one for Massive Darkness 1, which lets you bring stuff over into it. So you can bring all the characters from Massive Darkness 1. This lets you bring all the characters from Massive Darkness 2, but I don't think it's going to let you take every single monster and enemy over. I think generally it's just the bigger roaming monsters. But that's alright. So let's look at a boss. So now we can fight the Necromantic Dragon. If you pick him. Again, I don't know what set he's from, because they don't list it on here. Let's see if they say it here at all. It does not. I do have it listed on my computer, but I'm not going to go pull that out right now. But it's from one of those games. Again, it should be one of the main ones. Alright, so up in the top corner here, he'll have his regular stats. So he's going to have 30 health per hero, defense of 4 blue and 1 black die. His attack is melee with 1 yellow, 3 green, and 1 black. And in combat, if he rolls a claw, he does 1 slash, which is direct damage. Then over here, they're going to list his activation. So it's 1 activation per round. He rolls 2 black die. If on 0, he does ground apparition. Place the Necromantic Dragon on the central zone and deal each hero a wound showing on the boss tracker below. So I'll be down here. 1 claw, he has Putrid Onslaught. Place the Necromantic Dragon in the same zone as the hero with the most health. Deal wounds to them showing on the boss track below, then attack them. And then Necromantic Call. Place the Necromantic Dragon in the furthest hourglass zone, spawning mob from the other hourglass zone. If there's already a mob in play, activate it instead. So then his track on the bottom has 2, 2, 2, 3, and then 4. It says Rotten Wounds X. The amount of wounds dealt to ground apparition and Putrid Onslaught. So as the battle goes on, he's going to do more damage to you. And then he also has a vulnerability meter over here, which is something different. That's not something they normally have. So we're going to look at this quest a little bit to see what that says. So it says you have to complete the Dragon Slayer artifacts and then kill the Necromantic Dragon. Special set, search the level 5 mob item deck for Dragon Crossbow, Devil's Horns, 2 cards, and then Death Axe. Take one of each type, shuffle them and place them face up in the objective zone, then remove the remaining 2 copies from the quest. Okay, so cool. Here's different artifacts. I'm not going to read all of this, but it's kind of holding there if you want to see it. So I just want to see what these vulnerabilities were. So as you're fighting him, it says, As soon as a hero enters a boss chamber, place all heroes in the starting zone. Both tiles are part of the boss chamber. Remove the darkness tracker, replace it with his board leftmost space, and one time token on the attack space of the vulnerability track. Heroes recover all health in their maximum distance. Okay. So it says Necromantic Dragon attempt to adapt its forms to become immune to specific types of attack. Each enemy phase after a mob activation, but before the dragon activates, move the time token one space to the right on the vulnerability track. The attack type of the time token on it represents the only attack type that can be performed against the dragon. When it's on magic, it needs to advance, it returns back to the sword. Note the Necromancer can take wounds from effects or abilities, so he just avoids regular attacks. Cool. Yeah, so you play through this giant tunnel, and then you eventually are going to get to the boss room, which is at the top, and then when you get there, you'll remove everything else and just play with that one tile. Yeah, so it's kind of neat. So basically, it starts off, he can only be hit by swords, then the next turn, he can only be hit by bows, then he can only be hit by magic, and it's going to keep going. So it kind of makes you have to work as a team to be able to hit him, and who can do what. And then there's this awesome artwork on the back. Alright, so that is all the stuff for Master Darkness 2. Then we are going to do a quick look at the actual Zombicide stuff. So we're going to get all these little tiny cards here. Which, again, not having played Zombicide, I don't know exactly how these all work. But they're going to have little numbers on them. So this is card number 361. This is going to show the Reaper. And I know that the red, yellow, orange, yellow, and blue have to deal with kind of like the threat. So it's like the higher, everyone's threat and noise and stuff they've made, the levels and all that, is the higher the threat down here. I'm not sure how it works with these particular guys because they cover up all the pictures. But what they do here is they do have special notes here. It says, to use the Roman monsters and bosses as abominations in Massive Darkness Black Plague, simply add your corresponding abomination cards to the zombie deck, then shuffle it. Just as a reminder, add 3 weapon damage to the dragon fires required to kill abomination. So we have the Reaper, so he's going to do stuff like performs 2 actions per activation just like runners. After activation, all survivors in adjacent zones in line of sight suffer 1 wound. So what they did though is they made these characters be the only ones that are available in the base game, or the big box expansions. Yeah, they didn't. The ones that would have been like, yeah, I think just the big boxes. They didn't do any of the ones from the stretch goal, stretch goal bosses and monsters, because I think they want to make it so people could get them. So we do have the Reaper, so we just write his, and we're gonna get, looks like I think 4 cards for each one. Then we'll have Baelrith. Baelrith here, who then says after its activation, if Baelrith has at least 1 survivor in line of sight, it chooses the closest survivor in line of sight. Players choose if tied. That survivor deals 1 damage to each other survivor at range 1. That's minimum and XP. And then we had the Horsemen. So there are going to be 4 of them. There are 4 different Horsemen models, and it does say that when you play them, you can choose which Horseman you want to add to the game. And the Horsemen say, well, Horseman is on in play, no survivors can perform magic or enhancement actions. I don't know why it went to Cerberus next, but we'll keep going in order of card numbers. So we have Queen Tangira. So she is from the Fey Folk box. The other two were from Horseman from the Horseman box. The Reaper and Balgarith are both from... the Reaper is from the base game. Balgarith is from Heavenfall. The Horseman are from the Horseman expansion. Queen Tangaroa is from the Faith Oak box. So let's see what she does. All combat action with targets ranging 0 to 1 of Queen Tangaroa roll 2 less die. Alright. Then we have Hugbear, which is from Rainbow Crossing. Which is kind of like the jokey-ish set, but that's still cool. Kind of like a Care Bear. Hugbear counts as 2 zombies for purpose of survivors leaving its zone. Then we'll have the Banshee, which is from the War of Souls box. After Banshee's activation, any survivor with a noise token is killed. Then each survivor in range of 0 to 1 receives 1 noise token. Remove all noise tokens on survivors if Banshee is killed. And then finally we have 4 copies for Cerberus, which is from the Gates of Hell. Alright, so after Banshee's activation, any survivor... Oop, that's Banshee. We want Cerberus. When moving, Cerberus moves 2 zones or stops when it reaches survivor. After its activation, survivors in the same zone as Cerberus suffer 1 wound. Alright. So that is all the main ones. Now there are, again, there's other roaming minions and bosses that they could have added, because they didn't add all the angel bosses from, from either set, from the base game or not, because that would have been, I think that would have been kind of weird to have your fantasy characters fighting, angels. They also didn't include any of the ones from the Heroes versus expansions, which is kind of interesting because, if you bought this set, you can't use half the heroes if you don't have those sets anyhow. So I don't know why they didn't. I know one was I think one was the Angel and one was the Paragon. One was Metal Angel and one was Paragon. So that might have made sense. So the only other one would have been Beelzebub, which might have been maybe just, again, might have been who it was. But then, yeah, why they didn't include any of them from the stretch goals, I'm not sure, because some of them would have been kind of neat as well. But again, that's alright. Maybe again, they'll at some point make a extra expansion and a sequel Kickstarter. They'll add all the rest of the characters. Now we're going to look at the zombie side characters. So this lets us bring all of our characters from Massive Darkness 2, including the stretch goal characters, into zombie side. So again, I don't know a lot about how all these guys work, but I can do what I do. Because I don't own any of the I don't own any zombie side games, but I am getting the Western one, Undead or Alive, so I have a vague idea of how some of this works. So up here is an item slot. It's going to tell them what they can hold, and this is letting them hold other than the regular items, and say a sub item that character specifically can hold. The tracks down here basically give them extra abilities as the threat goes up. So it starts in blue. So Zuri here gets +1 free magic action. When it hits yellow, she gains an additional action. When you get into orange, you gain either, I think you have to choose one, but I think you get 1 die for magic or shove. When you hit red, you get either magic damage, free combat action, or a free magic action. And I'm not going to read through all of these. We're just going to kind of fly through what they can all do. And they don't list their classes or anything like that. But we have Burko, who can hold a melee weapon. You see he gets different stuff, like he gets sprint, jump, he gets shove over there. Dylan can use a dagger, he has lucky, he also gets shove. Ego gets a spellbook and spellcaster. Different stuff there. Victor, who holds a shield, has taunt, has tough, gets some regeneration and super strength. Kaylee, who can hold extra equipment, ambidextrous, tricky shot, shove, slippery, Harriet uses combat spell, spellcaster, Zombie Link, Rotten, Ironclad Runners. I don't know what any of these terms mean. But just, if anything, makes me excited to buy the game to find out. Cassiel, so we do get to play as an angel, who has shield, he has sprint, charge, shove, super strength. Raya, who can use a sword as marksman and slippery. Mortimer, combat spell is Zombie Link, spellcaster, Ironclad, Fatty, and Abomination. Ygraine, combat spell gets Rotten and Zombie Link. Urk has healing. It's lifesaver, spellcaster. Mathrin, who has combat spell. Roll 1/6. Roll 6. You get +1 die magic. Reaper of magic. Interesting. Phaedra. Dagger is low profile, hit and run. So very rogue action, which is what her normal class is. Sir Ronan, who has a sword, he gets taunt, regeneration, Ironclad Walker, some extra melee actions. Daisy holds equipment as breaking, matching sect, regeneration. Thalia, who has healing, has Born Leader, slippery, spellcaster, hit and run. New abilities we haven't seen. Father Corbus can use a dagger. Collector, Walker, Brothers in Arms. Ling has a crossbow who can use Ironclad Walker, so he has Battle Rage. I haven't seen Battle Rage before. Jebediah, no equipment, has Sprint, because he can move in his wheelchair really fast. I thought I'd say freeload. No, he can freeload off of people. Free reload makes more sense. We have Ivan, who can use an axe. His Frenzy, Combat, Bloodlust, Melee. Valadas, who has Combat Spell, Hit and Run, Spellcaster, some different others. Mist, so dagger is breaking, slippery, 1 zone per move. Reaper, he has melee. We have Riff, who can use any shield. His Born Leader, Destiny, Luck, Search, +1 card, Combat and Arms. New skills there. We have Haran, who can hold a sword. Ironclad Fatty, though I didn't get any other special words. Nias is a crossbow, his marksman, slippery. Surprised he doesn't have a movement ability right off the bat. Gera, who can use an axe, as tough, Ironhide. And then finally we have Geta, who can hold an axe, as frenzy, melee. Is that all you've got? Bloodlust, melee, charge, Reaper in combat. That's cool. Alright, yeah, so these guys are definitely neat. I love the full artwork on the back of all these. So yeah, that's going to be the Zombicide crossover for Massive Darkness 2. They also had 2 different packs for Massive Darkness 1. But only one of them, I believe it was the Green Horde pack it was called, has all of the cards that let you bring the characters from Massive Darkness 1 over as well. So if you own basically all 3 types of games, you can have giant armies worth of characters. Alright, so that is what we have. Hope you guys check out the rest of the videos. See you there. Bye.